The Best Way to Explain It, Episode 26. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone who is listening for the first time. It's the podcast that's almost as mysterious as Pesto.
I love pesto.
I have no idea what it is.
But I also know what's in it, so
Oh, well,
I can ruin that one real quick.
please demystify it for me. I have no idea. I mean, it's delicious,
It
but
is-
couldn't tell you.
It is a collection of Italian organic matter known as herbs and oil, and then you blend it up real nice and good. And then some people put it in cream. So creamy pesto sauce is like oregano and rosemary and stuff all chopped up together with some olive
Oh.
oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, I see, because I had
Yeah,
no
man.
idea. It was green. I mean, it was just always there. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
if I ever wanted to make chicken pesto, I had no idea how.
It sounds like a magic trick almost, you know?
Yeah,
like
pesto.
like you put your chicken in the oven and you say chicken pesto, and then it magically a green sauce shows up on the chicken.
Well, you just ruined Harry Potter for me because she didn't put that into the books.
Well,
Yeah.
do you know how Harry Potter got down the mountain?
No.
Walking J.K. Rowling. This is the driest humored start to an episode I think we've ever had.
Yeah, besides the other 25 of them.
Very true. I just
Yeah.
feel like there were more laughs that, lasted more than 2 snorts out of the nose.
That's an odd measurement of laugh, but we're going to go with it.
Well,
Can we call
judging
snorts of laughter coming out of the nose a Brecken? No,
that could be.
it should be a Nielsen, because a Nielsen sounds
Nielsen.
more like a measurement.
But it also has to do with like TV ratings, so
Yeah, okay, that's true. That's true.
I mean,
What's your middle name?
Michael.
Michael? No, that doesn't work. A Mike.
Yeah.
But nobody would associate that with you.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take credit for this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a Scott.
That's fine.
Man,
Interesting.
you had me laughing for at least 3.5 Scotts.
Okay. So 7 snorts through your nose.
Yeah. Oh, so Scott
Interesting.
is 2 snorts.
Well, I thought that's what we were going with, but
Okay.
wow.
No, that's fine.
We derailed within the first 2 seconds.
Okay, well,
glad.
I fail to see
Yeah.
how this is any different from any other episode.
I know. I just have to point that out so that I can try and hit you to getting back on subject.
Okay, well, we just got
Yeah.
super meta. But that is a good point. We should probably start talking about what the listeners want us to talk about, which is
Texas Hold'em poker, bruh.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't
Yeah,
know
man.
if they wanted us to talk about it, but we're going to, and they're captive for the next however long this takes.
Well, they clicked on the episode by accident, or they're probably a family member or friend at this point. So
Likely.
either way, sucks for them for the next 45 minutes.
Yeah. Ooh, you think we'll go that long?
Dude, I doubt it. It's not a very long one today, folks.
Well, better get started then.
Folks.
That doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
but okay.
Better, yeah, 10 minutes in or whatever we are. All right, Scott. So we've already gone through like the best way to explain it, Vice edition, and I was
Which I think
talking
was
with
2 episodes long, but, it's whatever.
well, yeah, but I hadn't thought of any others that I wanted to go through.
You
Because
started
all
the
I could-
series before you...
All I could think of were like illegal drugs, and I was like, well, I don't really want to encourage anyone to do them. So
Yeah, that's
And
probably
I
a good
feel
idea.
I feel like if I were to do an episode on it, I'd have to do a bunch of disclaimers. So
Yeah.
I didn't really want to do that either.
Hey, you disclaimed the crap out of that stock markets episode.
Well, there are legitimate rules about talking about stocks and stuff and like promoting them. So you have to do that. I
Hey,
think.
where we're going, we won't need rules. But go ahead. Actually, we do need rules for today because
you
that's
mean
kind of
complete anarchy? How dare we?
I know.
But if we were in an anarchist society,
Yeah,
wow,
there it is.
screwed that up.
There it is.
And we were, done smoking our cigars and drinking our beers, since we already learned about those in the tobacco and beer episode or alcohol episodes. Hopefully you didn't wind up in the hospital.
Who would do that?
Yeah, who would? But
Diabetics, that's who
maybe
would.
you did, and now you have to pass the time. And since you can't drink more beer or smoke more cigars in a hospital unless you're, crafty, card games are a great way to evaporate a night into the next morning.
Ooh, good word.
Yes, thank you. One of my favorite card games to play is Texas Hold'em. Although admittedly, I don't play all that often due to like having to set it up, having to have chips, and the amount of time it takes to play. Usually, I play about 4 hands, and then everyone gets bored.
Dude, we need to play more then.
Yeah, we do.
Or ever. I don't know if we've ever played.
I don't know if you and I have ever played, but we could totally do all 3 of the aforementioned vices.
That would be fun. Next time you're up here, man.
Yeah, but we've got to learn how to play first.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So that way, if we play with anybody that's never played, they have to listen to this podcast. You'd be like, I could teach you, but better yet, listen to this episode.
Since we're on the subject, have you ever done that to like a family member or something that's like, I don't really know much about that, and you're like, well, if you listen to episode, give them like the cheesy radio voice, like,
absolutely,
rundown. Yeah.
Well, because I've actually forced people in my family to listen to our podcast, so
nice.
Right.
You took over the aux cord in the car, and then.
Well, I was driving home with my sister because we live in the same city. And I forced her to listen to the episode. I think it was the alcohol episode.
Oh, nice.
And so,
cool.
Yeah. So she's listened to it now. I don't know if she's listened to another one, but.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Well, anyway, the deal is when I played with friends, not only does it take so long to get a game really going, and like you actually have to have full mental faculties for most of the game. It usually ends up being a debate between whether a straight beats a flush or, which has the higher pair, although that's easier to remember. Luckily, you have Scott and I here to educate. Educate on the subject. Anyway, let's start, as I usually do, with the history behind poker and Texas Hold'em in particular, although it isn't guaranteed. The consensus among poker players and poker historians is that poker began in France with a game called poke. When poke-loving Frenchmen came to the United States in the 1700s, they brought this early poker game with them, and it eventually became poker. So there's this gigantic dark age of poker where we don't know what happened to it, but apparently people played it. And as it progressed throughout the era, Texas Hold'em wasn't played until, as rumor has it, the first game was played in Robstown, Texas at the turn of the century. No pun intended for anyone who knows Texas Hold'em with the whole turn thing. Okay, I had to point it out. That's bad. But turn of the century is like the 1890s to the 1900s, that area. Texas Hold'em eventually reached Dallas in the 1920s and became a game for cowboys, miners, and any other rapscallion who stumbled upon a drinking and gambling establishment.
That would be miners like coal miners, not...
Yes, not the child.
Under, or 17 and under.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, whatever the rules are now.
Or 16 and under for Alabama.
Is that true?
I think so, actually, yeah.
I should have moved there. But it's kind of pointless now.
It wouldn't matter. Couldn't get a girl there anyway.
Nope, not gonna. That one's too easy. Too clever by half.
Anyway, back then the game was known as the Devil's River, or Styx, as in the river Styx, and that probably has something to do with what we call the final card dealt in Texas Hold'em, which is called the River. At one point, the dirty government tried to ban the game, but gave in to the gambling lobby at the time, which was probably like 5 guys in hats and holding up picket signs.
It's like, oh, come on. We want to
probably also because most of the government already played the game, but that's just my assumption that the government always breaks its own rules.
Hey, not in my
Okay.
Christian nation.
Oh, all right. One story about how the game became called Texas Hold'em states that in the 1960s, Life magazine published an article featuring poker variations, one of which was Hold Me Darling. This was then shortened to Hold Me Poker and eventually Hold'em, with Texas introducing its name into the mix because there's always that one person from Texas that has to one-up everybody. Just kidding, Texas. You're all right in my book.
Like Jeb Bush. Please clap.
That's so bad. So now that we have this vague and mysterious history of Hold'em, let's talk about how it's played. So terminology in poker is everything, and I try to define as many terms as possible, but if I miss something, let me know, Scott, and I'll try and define it on the spot. Otherwise, we'll put it at the end, and I'll define it or look it up real quick.
Sounds good.
Cool. The goal of the game is to make the best 5-card set, meaning you can have a straight flush, a straight, full house, quads, trips, or a set, 2-pair, single pair, or high card, and okay, sorry, I didn't know if I read full house or not.
Yeah.
But
you can also have full house.
We'll get We'll get into defining those terms later. We're gonna talk about how to play the game. Typically, in a game, you get a buy-in, so you pay a certain amount of money to either enter a tournament or you just decide to play the game with friends, and you have a certain set of chips, and those correlate to like, I don't know, $20 worth of money, which is also a buy-in, but
yep,
whatever. In the beginning of a hand is just like, I don't know how else to call it, like a round of
turn,
poker,
yeah.
A turn.
Well, not a turn in the Hold'em sense, but
yeah. Okay, in the beginning of a hand, players are dealt 2 cards face down. These are called your hole cards, although I've never heard a professional call them hole cards, so don't use that terminology unless you want to look like a novice or are pretending to look like a novice. I don't care.
Or you look so confident and you wear the dopest sunglasses, and then everyone will assume you just really know what you're talking about.
As long as they're not reflective.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Don't want to show people your cards.
Yeah.
All right. After being dealt these cards, a round of betting ensues, beginning with the blinds. Blinds are a required bet at the beginning of a hand. In Texas Hold'em, there are 2 blinds, the big blind and the small blind. The big blind sets the minimum bet to play each hand, while the small blind essentially encourages at least one person to play against the big blind in each hand. Being logical internally is one of the best parts about Texas Hold'em. So, like, you got to have 2 people to play a hand. You're not playing against the dealer. You're playing against the players at the table. So they're trying to encourage people to, at least 2 people, to play the hand.
Well, it doesn't just encourage them. It forces them to.
Yes. Like theft.
Yeah. Well, no, because they've
willingly played the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, after the round of betting is ended, 3 cards are dealt face up in front of the dealer. These cards are called the flop and make up a 5-card set shared by all players to develop the best hand. Set meaning just like 5 cards that each player can use to develop a actual like 5-card hand for poker.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna get really confusing just to like say hand and set and stuff like that. After the flop, there is another round of betting where remaining players adjust their bets against each other and move to the turn. The turn is the 4th shared card. This is revealed and another round of betting follows. Finally, if the game makes it this far, the river is revealed, showing the final of the 5 community cards. This card is followed by one last round of betting and the showdown, where remaining players show their cards to reveal the winner. Seems easy enough, right?
Yeah.
Well, professional poker players or even mid-level players have a tough time winning because Texas Hold'em is more about the people you're playing than the actual cards. Someone can be dealt the worst hand in the game and still win the pot, or collection of chips/money that has been bet during each hand.
Brecken,
yes.
Do you know what the worst hand you can start with is?
Oh, it's like a 2-7 offsuit.
Yep.
Do
you know why?
Because you can't get a straight, you can't get a flush, and you've got the lowest pair.
Right.
With a 2, and then just a middle pair with the 7. So, yeah, and we'll get into all that terminology in just a second.
I was just checking you.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
that was a quick one. Had to think quickly.
I used to watch Texas Hold'em all the time on ESPN because whenever we went to hotels, we were always there at odd times, so no good sports were on, and that's what was playing.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's not very fun, but it was something.
Well, hopefully my boss isn't listening right now, because sometimes when I get bored at work, I watch some poker hands on just some of the famous poker hands throughout history, or modern poker history on my Facebook. Those just pop up on my feed for some reason, and I'm addicted to it now. That's kind of why I did this episode. So,
well, now accepting donations to fund Brecken's lifestyle after he's fired.
Please help me. All right. So the process of playing the other person, or playing with the worst hand and trying to win the pot, is called bluffing, and I've watched numerous movies based on this maneuver in Texas Hold'em alone. One good movie is called Rounders. It's about 2 guys who cheat at poker and then get in deep with the Russian mob. Basically a political commentary for 2017, 2018.
Heyo!
I kid.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I
tried writing some jokes into this one.
Yeah. 7 out of 10. At least.
Thank you. Yeah, I shoot for that C-.
Yeah.
So bluffing is essentially pretending that you have good cards to try to get someone else to fold their cards. Folding, which I haven't mentioned yet, is when a player decides their cards aren't worth playing and end their turn. This can happen at any point during the betting process, as long as it's your turn to bet. So it'll move around the table, and then you can fold if you think, hey, I don't have enough to actually play this hand, or I don't want to bet enough to play this hand. I heard on a poker video game that I play, professional poker players fold their cards about 50% of the time. As the song goes, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to stop singing old country songs on a podcast.
Do you remember, whenever I hear that song, I always think of Michael Scott on that episode of The Office.
Yeah.
Beach Day.
What a great show, just in general.
Seriously. I mean, it's inferior to Parks and Rec, but
I could have, if it wasn't a debate topic that I had to choose a side, I would just put them equal. You know?
I retroactively give myself that win.
All right.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, check out the year-end extravaganza episode where we debated a bunch of stupid topics. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that episode. So
had my brother on, so if that's interesting to you.
All right. A person who is good at bluffing will have no tell or a hard to read tell. So a tell is something they do or maybe say that tips you off to whether or not they are bluffing. If they're good at hiding what hand they have but are betting larger than normal, that's also an easy tell that they've got a good hand. And that you may want to rethink your life.
Are you good at figuring those out?
I don't know. I haven't played enough to really look at people, and I don't know.
Yeah.
How about you?
I mean, yeah, all the time. But
I
did you
just
believe
walk
me?
into Vegas. Not at all. Nope.
Dang.
I'm actually like curious as to whether or not you're good at bluffing because I feel like sometimes you might be, but other times like you're kind of easy to read, Scott.
That's
I'm not
probably fair.
challenging you to poker. I'm just saying that I could beat you.
Hey. No, I don't know. I think uh it depends on the context. I feel like I can lie if I need to,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's more like my dry sense of humor and
Yeah.
wild
Yeah.
emotions really sometimes get the best of me.
I feel you.
Yeah.
One of the two, at least.
Yeah, right.
Okay, since we have a basic understanding of poker and bluffing, let's talk about the different hands starting from worst and moving to the best. So first you want to start off with the high card. So a high card is a single card that ranks highest among all cards played. This card can also come in handy when two players appear to tie with, say, a pair or something, and then someone has an ace and they call it the ace kicker, and that ace kicker would be the high card that allowed that person to win out of the tie. So it's a tiebreaker.
Nice.
Yeah. Cards rank in order from 2 at the lowest to an ace at the highest. This order is important to know, not just for highest rank, but also for straights, and we'll get to those soon. Next in order, you have a single pair, like 2 eights or 2 aces. If you receive a pair in your whole cards, this is called a pocket pair, or if you've got 2 eights, called pocket eights or pocket aces. Pocket aces is the best you can start off with because it's the highest pair and there's no cards on the table yet.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. Just in case you couldn't visualize it, I figured I'd let you know.
Hey, I appreciate it.
It's a great way to start a hand of Hold'em, but not all is guaranteed to win. Typically, this means you should continue playing, although I've watched so many hands of poker where the pocket pair loses the hand that I am skeptical, especially of like low pocket pairs.
Yeah.
Like 2s and 3s. Those are always scary, but
there's no reason to not stay in.
Oh, yeah.
Until the
for at least the flop or the turn. Yep. So now we go to the 2 pair, which is just as lonely as 1 pair, but wins a poker hand against the single pair. Yeah. Moving on, we have a 3 of a kind. This hand is fairly rare, but can mean the difference between losing to a higher pair or winning the hand. That's 3 of the same number. So you got 2 eights, and then an 8 comes up on the flop. Then you've got a 3 of a kind, or what the pros call a set. Because calling something a 3 of a kind is just too difficult, I guess.
What is this? Go for it.
So above a 3 of a kind, we have a straight. This is a run of numbers in a row. Think 2 through 6 or 10 through ace.
Okay.
10 through ace would be the 2 through 6. The higher cards win.
Right. Can you do like king through 3 or 4?
Nope.
Okay.
It's not a circle. It's just a line, unfortunately. Yeah. Because otherwise you couldn't. I mean, an ace 2, 3, 4, 5 would that beat a 9, 10, jack, queen, king?
Add them up.
I guess that's one way to do it. Beating a straight and causing a lot of confusion is the flush. A flush is a combination of 5 cards of the same suit. So a suit for the card illiterate is the designation by the number on the card to distinguish each group of cards. There are 4 suits in a deck, 13 cards per suit. And these suits are hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. It's important when playing to watch for a flush when you yourself have a straight. I've seen a lot of players lose because they thought they were going to win with a straight and someone winds up getting a flush.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's called getting flushed.
Ayo.
I actually have no idea.
Is that really?
True?
I don't know.
That's what I'm going to call it, though.
I think you should call it. Above the flush is the full house. So Yahtzee players may know exactly what I'm talking about. A full house is a 3 of a kind and a pair on the same hand. So you've got your pocket eights. You draw the 8 off of the flop, and then you get a pair out of the next 2 cards and whatever else is lying on the table, and you get a full house. And that's a pretty good hand.
Yeah, think of it like
considering
you've got 2 parents and 3 children.
That's how I think of it too. Yeah.
Or I just memorize it because there's really not that many hands to memorize.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I used to always get confused between a straight and a flush and which one wins. But now that I've like calculated out the probability, it's a lot easier to like understand, because a straight can be with any suit, but with a flush, you're drawing from only 13 cards out of 52, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. So next up is a 4 of a kind. This is the most difficult set of cards to achieve if you're matching card number. So if you get 4 8s, you know, you got the pocket 8s, and then an 8 comes up on the flop, and then another 8 comes up on the river. You got extremely lucky, and you also got a 4 of a kind.
And probably the whole pot.
Yep. Unless your opponent has a straight flush. A straight flush is one of the rarest hands in poker, as it combines a straight and a flush. Who would have thought?
Hey.
It's crazy stuff. All right. And then the final and most powerful hand is the royal flush. A royal flush is a 10, jack, queen, king, ace in the same suit. Essentially, this is just the highest straight flush, but holds a special place in poker because it is the least likely in terms of odds / probability. Yeah.
Nice.
And that's one thing I didn't realize until way too late on in my life, is that the higher the hand, the lower the probability of you getting it, and that's why it's a big deal. I mean, obviously the pair and 2 pair, but I didn't realize, like, I didn't think about the straight or the flush until
yeah. There's definitely a reason why certain cards beat others.
Yeah. So that is the basics of Texas Hold'em poker.
Nice.
I'll open it up to some questions though. So Scott, fire away.
This one, I've got 2 things. Neither one's really a question. The first one is, do you ever watch shows or movies and like people are playing poker and one of them always gets a straight flush, and I'm like, that's really unlikely. Like, have them get a 4 of a kind or full house. Like, it's very unlikely you're going to get a straight flush.
Or go crazy and have both of the players try to bluff each other, and one of them wins with a high card of like a queen or something.
Right.
Like, make it go the opposite way.
Or make it believable, because it's like every single movie, like, as somebody's like, oh, I'm super, super confident in my hand, and I'm like, okay, this other person's probably got a straight flush because that's what movies do. I don't know.
Yeah. Are you thinking of like Casino Royale?
Yeah.
Where he gets the higher full house or something.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, I get it, but it also ruins poker for someone who's never played poker before. Like, think about playing a game and not realizing that you can win with just an ace.
You know? Well, I don't know. I feel like if you're watching James Bond do all those things in Casino Royale, your disbelief has been suspended. So.
All right, I'll give you that.
Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say is I've actually gotten a straight flush.
Have you?
Yeah, I was in 4th grade.
Nice.
Like, no joke, we used to play poker at indoor recess time.
Yeah.
I was playing, and I got a straight flush, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in clubs.
Nice.
And I was like, what? Though I think we were playing 5-card draw.
Okay.
So, for those of you who don't know, that's basically you get dealt 5 cards instead of 2, and there's no... Well, you get dealt... How many cards do you get dealt? Is it just 5?
I think it's 5, and then you basically play like Go Fish.
Yeah.
With the cards. You continue to draw cards until I don't know when you stop. I actually have to admit I've never played five card draw.
Really? That's what we used to play.
We'll have to play. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we used to play at my grandma's house when we, like, all of us cousins were there. We would play. She had like a huge set of poker chips, like one of those really nice ones where the chips are heavy and all that.
Yeah.
And we would play 5 card draw because I don't know why we did. That was the game we played to pass the time because there's
Nice.
no cell service out there.
Yeah. we play games with my grandma too, just because I think that's how she grew up.
Oh, we didn't play with
my
my
parents
grandma.
grew up. Oh, really?
No, we just played by ourselves.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
What a nerd.
pretty much. This was
Um,
back when CRT TVs were the thing.
Yeah.
Those are just like the big round TVs.
Yeah.
Okay, I was making sure you didn't know. Maybe I should do an episode on that technology.
I know what a tube TV is, but maybe our listeners don't. So hit us up
Cathode
at
ray.
the yeah. Hit us up at the bestwaytoexplainit.com/suggestions if you want to hear what a cathode ray tube is and why it's important for you watching TV.
Oh, well, it's
Yeah.
important that you don't use it to watch TV.
Well, yeah, that too.
All right, so that's Texas Hold'em poker. In your assignment for this week,
Yeah.
I was talking to our listeners. I was trying to think of an assignment, but I don't really feel like giving them homework.
Yeah. That's probably good.
You know what?
Probably have enough already.
Shake the hand of a stranger and
Wow.
then tell them a lie and see if they catch it. Practice your bluffing. That is your homework.
Whoa. Get
Yeah.
wild.
What?
Trying to think. I'm trying to look up 5-card draw to see.
It's okay.
As a result, it is often game. See, whenever I type in 5-card draw, it comes up with what looks like Texas Hold'em. Okay, finally the Wikipedia actually comes out. Okay, so like you declare that you want to replace like 3 of your cards, and then he removes 3 cards from his hand and discards them. Alice retrieves the deck and deals a burn card, then deals 3 cards directly to Bob. These are just random people on the Wikipedia, by the way. And then he puts them in his hand, and then, you know, it moves on with a similar sort of process. And then like a second round of betting begins, and then people like do the same thing again. So
right. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Yep. All right, cool. Little 5-card draw for you. We'll have to
And the hands are the same too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to say. Do you have anything else to say?
I am all out of ideas.
All right.
Time
Show
to
notes
go
will be
watch.
at
Yeah.
bestwaytoexplainit.com/26.
Yeah.
What were you gonna watch?
Oh, I was gonna watch some more poker videos to like figure out how I'm gonna beat you.
Nice. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
cook some chicken pesto.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Actually, I'm not, but they don't have to know.
That's true.
All right, guys. We will talk to you next time.
Get learning.